So we are live. I'm here with Jesper. This is a case study today of the work that Jesper and I have been doing together. So Jesper, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Thank you, Luke. As you said, my name is Jesper Petersen. I work at a Norwegian software as a service company in healthcare. I'm a founding partner in the company and have been with it since it was established 7 years ago. Today, I lead the development group of roughly 15-20 people. I have a background in actually telecommunications engineering, but have always worked with software and web-based software, and is, you say, a technical co-founder of the company.
Very good. So which employee with you?
I am employee number 2.
Wow. Wow.
So
So you've been there right from the beginning.
Yeah, so we were a small group of people of 6 people, I think, at the very start. And now we are, I think, 130 people in the company. So It's been quite a journey.
Yeah, I bet, quite a journey from 2 to 130. That's amazing. So why don't we talk about what brought you to, I guess, working together? So what were the challenges that you were experiencing in your career before you started working with me?
So as we already talked a bit about, is that especially as we grew as a company, we went from being, you say, a small, closely knit team to be, you could say, 30, 50 people, beginning not to know everyone by name necessarily or exactly who they were. Also beginning to have within the development department, having multiple teams, multiple concurrent projects and so on. And my role trying kind of transition from being a hands-on technical person, developing the very early systems, having knowledge about everything that happened in the company, and we went to being many people, having many projects, and I had to kind of deliver through other people's instead of just being, you say, hands-on. And what I see that I struggled with a lot, especially in the beginning, was how to measure my own efficiency, or was I delivering a good job as a manager instead of, you could say, a direct contributor. Also, how to structure work, how to make sure that I was part of the process, but not steering the process necessarily. I got a lot of stress about being probably too much hands-on, going to too much hands-off, and then trying to land in the middle. And also, I had some periods where I would say my work-life balance wasn't very good.
Yeah,
I definitely took on too much work and kind of had hard time setting boundaries and prioritizing, you say, my private life and my friends and family. So just having the opportunity to talk and express some of these feelings and challenges that I've went through have been a big part of our journey, I think.
So when you were thinking about making the decision to, start working with me, how would you say you were feeling in yourself? Were you feeling stressed? Were you feeling anxiety?
Yeah, definitely. So when we started working, I was at a period where I was actually considering if this job was what I really wanted. So a big motivation of mine is to be part of building something, establishing it, having an impact, creating value, basically, for our customers and end users. And I was at a point where I was feeling like work wasn't fun anymore. I wasn't really, I began having problems collaborating with the other founding partners and some of the other people. I wasn't aligned with the way they were doing stuff, or taking the company. And And then I was, as mentioned, I was very stressed out. We had been through a period where it had taken quite a toll on me, and I had, you say, planned vacations that were completely ruined because I had to go back and work and couldn't kind of let it go. People needed me all the time, so I was constantly brought back into some kind of issue or task, so I didn't get to relax, and I wasn't very well balanced. I was really having a lot of you could say doubts about my own confidence or my own contributions. I had doubts about whether I wanted to continue doing this job. Even though that, as we've discussed several times, I really believe in what we do as a company and the product that we deliver and so on, then I was just having major doubts about whether I could do this with the people I was working with at the moment and the way I was working, especially.
How did those feelings and, those doubts, and I guess did you have frustration?
I was very easily frustrated by, you could say, small things at job. So when you could say we didn't do it in a way I thought was the best, maybe, or if someone did something or reacted in a way that I didn't feel was fair or constructive, I kind of reacted very reactive. I was angry. I was frustrated with people. I was annoyed at them, and I was not adding, you say, value myself either, because I was immediately putting my feelings into it, and thereby, you could say, not reacting in a constructive way or putting meanings into their words or the communication that wasn't necessarily there, or at least wasn't important. So I was at a place where you could say I was definitely not contributing or being the best version of myself.
So in a sense, you're saying that you weren't having the greatest level of impact on the business. Do you think that being in that state of mind and the way that you were leading, your team, do you think that had an impact on the performance of the company?
Definitely. So I think, as you can say, one of the founding members of the company, I have, you can say, a lot of impact in the way that people look at me. They know I know most of the, you can say, the technical system. I have a good overview of the business, and generally I'm almost always able to help. But I'm also, you could say, representing the business in a way. So if I am not, you could say, leading, and you could say leading by example and setting, you could say, the high bar or coming with the energy to solve the tasks and so on, that immediately affects the people around me, and of course it will then, you could say, impact their performance as well. Not just my own.
Sure. Yeah, and I remember when we first started working together, you were basically, the original conversation was, look, I need to assess whether or not I should even stay with this company. I need to assess whether or not, I need to move on, whether I've done my time. Maybe, I haven't got much more to contribute. Maybe I need to, start building something new. And, very quickly we realized that wasn't what you should be doing. You needed to kind of address how you were feeling and the way you saw the business and your role in the business.
Yeah, so you managed to kind of challenge my perspective on the things and kind of also see how my behavior was leading to a detrimental effect on the whole because the situation I was sitting in. So I was kind of contributing as much myself with the attitude and the way that I reacted to things. And instead of trying to change it and take control and make it in a way that I was aligned with and I thought was working well, then I was basically just sitting back and waiting for the others to solve the problems.
Yeah.
So, and just by, you could say, challenging the perspective I had, I kind of got a major insight into how my own thinking and mental attitude was affecting my work, but also the whole situation.
It's amazing. So what was the major insight that you got from working together?
I think well, there's been several as we went through multiple sessions, but the first was really this, that I had somehow gotten to a position where I was reactive. I wasn't no longer in control of what's happening around me, which led to a lot of frustration and a lot of feelings. So by just taking a step back, saying, okay, how can I change how I approach everything? How can I make sure that I am coming with positive energy? Taking some simple tools or habits and changing those so that I would come in the morning with a lot more energy, would be looking for solutions instead of problems. Really changed how my situation was experienced. We also took some very simple things like just looking at my calendar and looking at what is it that I'm using my time on. Was I using it on the things that was important and really contributing to the company, or was I more, you could say, busy work? Yeah, I had a lot of busy work that we cut off.
Well, let's jump into that really quickly. So what are like some of the specific improvements that you've seen as a result of us working together? You know, what's really kind of moved the needle for you, and what's going to be the impact for you and the business moving forward?
So as we just were mentioning, we looked at how I spent my time. So we cut away a lot of the busy work, made for a lot more efficient communication, a lot less time spent on status meetings or just meetings that could easily be given on you could say emails or in a written form instead. It also allowed me to focus on you could say prioritizing my time correctly so that I can have the larger impact on the people around me, make sure that we are prioritizing the correct projects, working in a better manner, and so on. So you say personally, you probably changed my time schedule so that I got, I would say, almost 50% more time to do what I would say high value work. So work where I have time to think and focus and be contributing on my own part of preparing the others, the projects they're doing, and the department, the way we work, and improving the processes and so on. And through all of that work, of course, then I will be impacting how everyone else is working, and thereby we as a company deliver much better products or solutions.
Sure. I mean, how do you think that will impact the revenue of the business, you know, improving your team and, you know, becoming more high performance?
So you can say as a tech startup, a lot of our cost is really, you could say, employees. That is the majority, and especially the tech department is expensive. So by improving, you could say, the efficiency and the way that we deliver products and changes to our system and to new market opportunities, then we are in the end also affecting the direct revenue stream of the company.
I mean, do you have any idea in terms of like a number that will affect it? I mean, are we talking tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of euro? I mean, how will that impact the company, do you think?
I think it's a little difficult to put an exact number on this, but we're definitely talking, you can say, somewhere between, you could say, under 1,000 euros and between €1 million, I would guess. Some of these, you could say, projects, of course, are always hard to estimate what the end result will be for the revenue stream, because we're still, you could say, pursuing new market opportunities and trying to see where we can both create the most value in the market, but also, of course, make a sustainable business.
Yeah, sure. So what would you say to people that were considering, working with me, and maybe they're in a similar situation to the one that you were in before we started working together?
I would say if you feel lost or feel that you're lacking energy or structure, or just need someone to challenge you, I think especially that part of keeping a growth mindset, always looking for improvements or ways of doing it better, then even if you're not at a position like me where I was really struggling for a bit, I would say that I'm sure Luke can add a lot of value. You have a lot of experience and have a lot of good tools, and have given me me both, you could say, something. Sometimes it feels like this is so simple. I should have been able to come up with it myself or something like that. But just having someone outside that keeps you accountable, that pushes you that extra mile, that gives you, say, what about if you thought about it in this way, gives you a new perspective and so on, keeps moving the needle for what is possible.
Yeah, it's funny. We can't almost see our own faults, and we can very easily almost see other people's challenges and problems, but it's very difficult to kind of identify them and make those changes for ourselves sometimes, isn't it?
It is, and I think having that possibility of bouncing back, you could say, thoughts, uncertainties, momental, or you could say temporary self-doubts, and just having, you could say, a room to put it up also gives me confidence in that, okay, I might be feeling this, but I know that I'll have a session with you in shortly, and then we'll be able to talk about it. We'll be able to see, okay, how can I tackle this in a better way, and looking at what is my path forward. So if I'm feeling like I want to achieve this, but I'm a bit unsure on how to get to that point, then it's been very beneficial to talk to you about, okay, how can we break it down? What are the steps to take to get to this point?
That's great. Well, let's wrap this up. Any last words to people listening? Any kind of thoughts, insights, advice you'd give people listening?
I think just thinking about that you can always improve. There's always something that you can do to either contribute better to the business, to your personal life, to your well-being, and I'm sure Luke can help you find that thing.
That's great. Thanks so much for your time, Jesper. And for anyone listening who wants to upgrade their thinking and their life and their business, give me a call or send me a message and we'll see what we can do to help. Thanks, Jesper.
Thanks, Luke. Bye.